Hello, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to our practice today. This is a requested practice that actually makes a huge amount of sense for a lot of us. If your body has been feeling sore or tired and you really don't feel like doing a practice, but you know that if you do, you'll feel just a little bit better, a little bit more relaxed, unwound, and feel a little bit better overall physically and mentally, then this practice is about focusing on that. So I invite you in this practice, because you are sore and because you are tired, to use whatever props that you want. That could be pillows off the couch. They make great little cushion pillows, make perfect little supports for your legs and for your body, for your head. Blankets, towels, beach towels rolled up, bathroom towels rolled up, any kind of pillows from off your bed. Feel free to use those to give you the support that you need in your practice. You will still get all the benefits of the practice even when you use the props, except you will just be practicing a little bit more self-love and self-care. So just grab what you can. The only thing I'm going to be using in this practice is a blanket underneath just for softness, and a second blanket rolled up for a couple of our poses just for some soft cushioning, but you could also use a throw pillow for this purpose as well. So we're going to go ahead and start on our backs and have our roll here, or a couple of throw pillows right underneath the knees to start with. Go ahead and lay yourself back and bring the bottoms of the feet together, and that blanket roll is just going to give you a little support. Now, even if your knees come all the way down to the floor, this feels really good to have a little bit of support so you don't feel like they have to go that far. You can bring the heels in closer or further, whatever feels best for you. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath, let the hands come out to the side, rest the palms facing up. Maybe rock the head side to side here. And then let it settle where it is. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Our heads are asymmetrical just like the rest of our body, and that's okay. Just letting it tilt whatever way makes sense for you and feels organic. And starting with our breath, notice where your breath is in your body. Maybe because you're sore and tired and don't feel great, that it is centered maybe a little bit more in the chest, where it feels more restricted or tight. And just noticing that here. And ever so gently starting to change the breath. Breathing a little bit more into the belly, letting the belly expand out and fill, and then the chest, and then the collarbones and shoulder blades. And exhaling the reverse. Collarbones, shoulder blades, chest, and then belly. Allowing that breath to move through the body and give you a little bit of release here. And as you deepen that breath and fill the space of the three-part breath, you may begin to notice that your breath extends a little bit more on the inhale and even more on the exhale. Allow that to be. Maybe taking 2 or 3 breaths where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Self-care practice in which you really become aware of the body without judgment and allow yourself to accommodate whatever it needs, will be so much more nurturing and nourishing for your mind and body, no matter how you feel. It's the kind of practice that's supportive of you as a whole, no matter how you're feeling. Notice here as your breath expands and maybe begins to lengthen even more. Maybe filling out the side body. Just 3 more deep breaths. Then go and take your hands to the outside of the knees and use your hands to push those knees toward one another super slow. Maybe letting those knees rock a little bit side to side. Maybe if you didn't feel a lot of sensation during that pose, you may feel a little bit more coming out of it. Sometimes we settle into positions. So our next pose, we're going to press our heels into the floor. Take our prop, whatever that may be, block, blankets, or pillows, and tuck it underneath the pelvis, right beneath the sacrum, which is that bone at the top of the pelvis, bottom of the spine. And then we're going to slowly start to take that left leg out. Now, if your left leg doesn't want to go straight, that's okay. You can have it bent. And start to bring your right leg in. You can take your hand behind the knee or in front of the knee. Whatever feels good for you here. Maybe because you're sore and tired, you take a little less depth to the pose, adjusting it to accommodate what your body needs today. Checking in with your breath here. Keeping that 3-part breath. Allowing the exhale to extend longer. Whatever hold you have on that right leg, slowly let that foot come flat. Slowly pull that left leg so the foot is flat. We're going to switch sides, walking that right leg out, either bent or completely straight. Bringing that left knee in, hand behind the knee or in front of it. Maybe this side is a little bit different. Just letting gravity do the work. Just 2 more deep breaths. Maybe noticing how this side felt a little bit different than the other. And then gently releasing that left foot down, foot flat. Bend that right knee, place the foot on the floor, lift the hips. Take your blanket off to the side or pillows off to the side. And go and just windshield wiper the knees a little bit side to side. Maybe rocking the head side to side as well. Sometimes it feels good to have a little movement in between those stillnesses that happen. And then go and take our legs out straight. Walk those heels over to the right, the upper body over to the right as well. I'm taking banana pose. We're going to take a little different variation here though. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Take the arms up overhead. If you want to just keep them in more of a cactus position, that feels good too. If you feel like you have a little bit more space, maybe you grab the wrist or the arm or the elbow. This is a bit more grounding version of it. Breathe into that left side body, from the heel up through the fingertips, whatever variation you're taking. If you need some support, you can always place a pillow or blankets or block underneath your arms to give you that little bit of support or to feel that support. Noticing if this side feels some tension and where you might feel that. It's different for everybody, every day, every time you practice. Gently start to release your hands. Take the hands alongside the hips. Unwind the ankles. Take the heels wide and just take a few breaths here. Noticing what it feels like after the pose is over. And this time walking the heels over to the left, moving the upper body a little bit over to the left as well, crossing that left ankle over the right, adjusting as you feel necessary here. Here again, taking the arms out to the sides or in a cactus position, or if it feels appropriate for you with some support or not, grabbing hold of that right wrist with that left hand and exploring the space here on the right side of the body. Focusing on breathing into that right side body, filling the lungs all the way up. 3-part breath on the right side. Really clearing out the lung space, making more room to breathe, refreshing the oxygen there. Go ahead and relax the hands down by the sides. Move the upper body back into space. Uncross the ankles. Take the heels wide and take a few breaths here. Noticing how left and right feel now that they've both been done. Maybe noticing your breath, whether it's a little fuller and richer or deeper. Now that we've opened up the space on the side body, making more room for breath. Very slowly pulling those feet flat, knees toward the ceiling. We're going to roll over to the right side. Very gently make our way up. I'm going to offer you a couple of alternatives for this next pose. We're going to do a seated forward fold. So if you have a lot of tension in your hamstrings, you might want to bend your knees and take your feet a little wider. You can place a blanket underneath your knees or pillows. I prefer actually to sit on the very edge of the blanket, so I get a little natural tilt. That way I can take myself a little bit wider and I just kind of slide off the edge, and that tilts my pelvis forward. You can bend the knees as much as you want or as little as you want. And if you feel comfortable, you can keep the heels together and legs straight. It's entirely up to you. Just reaching out a little bit with the hands, letting the weight of the body settle you into space, and then relaxing your hands on ankles or the floor. Maybe after a little while you feel like you can stretch the legs out more, or maybe not. Maybe you bend them more. Every day is different. Breathing into the back side of the body a little bit more. If it feels good to drop your chin to the chest, you can. You can keep a little length in the cervical spine if your neck gets a little bit uncomfortable with this. And don't be afraid to explore what you can do as the pose progresses. You may find adjusting feels better. See if you can explore extending the exhale, and while extending the exhale, allowing the muscles to soften, the body to soften just a little bit more. Gently taking your hands to the floor and very slowly using your hands to press yourself back up to center. Maybe leaning back a little bit, lifting the chest, and doing a little mini cat-cow here. And then coming all the way down onto your back. Take a little twist here. So you're going to cross that right knee over that left, shift the legs over, or the hips over to the right, drop those knees over to the left. Here you can use a prop underneath your knees if that feels good, or right arm out to the side. You can turn and look over your right arm. Just let yourself settle here for a few breaths. Just 2 more deep breaths. Turning your head back to center, engage your core. Bring those knees back through center, unwind. Just going to go straight to the second side here. So cross that left leg over the right, shift the hips over to the left, drop the knees over to the right. That left hand can go out to the left. You can turn and look over the left shoulder if that feels appropriate for you. Use props wherever you need them to give you just a little bit of support. Just 2 more deep breaths. Gently turning your head back to center, engaging your core, bringing those knees back through the middle. Unwinding and dropping the feet wide, knees together. Take a few breaths here. I invite you to use whatever props you have to set yourself up for Shavasana. That could be something underneath your knees or underneath your neck or head, underneath your arms. Could be knees bent or legs straight, or something in between. It could be lying on your side. Sometimes that feels really good, or lying face down with your head on your hands. Take whatever feels appropriate here for you. That'll give you the most rest, the most comfort and support. Here again, taking a couple of breaths where you inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Maybe with a little sigh. Here, take these next few breaths to notice wherever your body is touching the floor or a prop. Notice the support and how that feels for you. Notice where the softness of a blanket or a pillow makes you feel a little bit softer, a little bit more cared for. And then gently bring your awareness to the rise and fall of the breath, the inhale, the exhale as it moves through the body. Allowing that breath to remove the last bits of tension or tightness or soreness or tiredness or stress. And filling the body with softness and care and kindness and compassion and acceptance. I invite you to stay here as long as you possibly can, letting your body rest and recover and heal. And then whenever you are ready, making your way up to your day with a little bit more quiet and peacefulness. And because I invite you to stay as long as you like, I am going to remain here for a little bit longer so that we can share a little bit more time of rest. Peace and namaste. May your day be filled with softness, rest, and recovery.